and Matt Berry. Week 2 of the college football season, and much like it was in week 1, the biggest story for different reasons, however, Arch Manning and how he would bounce back after the loss to Ohio State. We all wanted to see it because they got San Jose State, so you're thinking, okay, inferior opponent, how would this kid look at a rebound? Early on, the question was answered here. Parker Livingstone, 83 yards.
And through 2 games, Livingstone has become the go-to receiver for Arch Manning.
It takes something. It takes a young quarterback to find a receiver he's got trust in. This was after a 3-and-out in the opening series. Arch finds his guy 83 yards. Then, again, to Joey's point, it's Livingstone.
Yeah, again, Arch building confidence with Livingstone, seeming like he's the guy who wants to find it, especially down the red zone.
Little play action fake, a little boot, a little tight end over the middle, a little touchdown Texas.
A lot of time in the park for Arch Manning, look around. That's look like it's maybe his 3rd, 5th, 4th option, and he cuts it loose for a touchdown.
Now 21-0. Arch now a career-high 4 touchdown pass.
The transfer from Cal, this was a big get for this Texas offense. I expect injuries to be more intricate as the season goes.
31-7 now in the 3rd. Arch and the starters would play well into the 4th. I'm thinking it's because Sark wanted to see him go the length of the game. He can do this with his legs.
Yeah, he just said it early. He's probably going to play a lot of this football game.
38-7 the final. Texas gets back on track. The competition, it wasn't Ohio State, but at least if you're a Texas fan, you see the numbers, nearly 300 passing yards, 5 total touchdowns. That ties a single game high in terms of total touchdowns. The career high 4 touchdown passes in this one. Again, you've got to take everything 1 week at a time like we did with Ohio State, but at least if you're Texas, you ran the offense at a high level, and Arch came out there and in spots looked really, really good.
I'm willing to bet Arch got to his locker and he said, he took a nice exhale, and it's good for him because, again, this was a get-right game. This was about getting some confidence and also getting your teammates to be confident in you as well. And for Arch, again, the start of the game, it wasn't pretty. He's trying to force the ball right here. You got double coverage on his deep post, trying to give Brian Windhorst an opportunity. He overthrows that by 5 yards. And this next one, you get some pressure around you. You got 3rd and 14, trying to get a first down here. You got to step up in that pocket and make that throw. Arch can make that play, but again, he misses him inside right there. But then Coach Sarkisian dials up a really nice one. You get the post to clear it out, and then Livingstone takes it home the rest of the way. So it's almost like a great shooter. And sometimes when you see the ball go through the hoop, that's when you get going.
Before we get to Joey on his side of it, from a quarterback's perspective, how long does it take to just get really comfortable week in and week out knowing that you're the starter, now it's your team?
It starts here, though. It starts between the ears, really. You have to go into that field believing, hey, man, whatever I did preparation-wise, we can get this done. And also I got to rely on my teammates and let those guys make plays, too.
Joey, what'd you see at Arch today?
It still has to pick up a little faster for him. When you watch him play, he still doesn't look comfortable with what he's seeing. He had a big game, threw 5 touchdowns, not moving very fast for him. And you can do that against San Jose State. But what happens when you get in the SEC, you start playing teams that are better than this, these guys won't be open for that long. He still has to start getting the ball out of his hands. You talk about timing between the ears. That's part of it. The game has to move faster. It gets faster. You go from high school to college. It just gets faster. And you can see that against Ohio State. Against this team, he could play in that same slow motion pace. So I'm sure they go back and say, now we got to speed things up.
Once you get to that SEC schedule, it's going to get quicker, again, another level of competition for Arch and the Texas Longhorns, but at least with this Saturday, all good in Austin. It wasn't really all good for Penn State taking on FIU. Early on, Drew Aller, Khalil Dinkins, Nittany Lions take a 7-0 lead.
I love the touch throw right there. Getting over 2 linebackers in for a touchdown for Dinkins.
At the 22-yard lines, Keon Jenkins. That's Aller again. This one deep. What a play by Allen.
I'm sure you're James Franklin and you're Penn State. You don't feel comfortable with the score being 13-0 getting into the 3rd quarter, but then they start to pull away.
Yeah, then the Katron Allen, Nicholas Singleton. They've got maybe the best backfield in the country in a 1-2 punch.
Absolutely. Look, these 2 guys are going to be huge for this offense. And again, they're going to take a lot of pressure off of Drew Aller. Got to get Allen and Singleton going.
So 34-0 the final, pulled away late. It was 20-0 midway through the 4th quarter. So kind of some touchdowns late in the game. What a battle we had in the great state of Texas. SMU ACC, Baylor Big 12, Sawyer Robertson, Jacoby Prentice, 28-yard TD back and forth game.
And this was back and forth in the first half. Both teams were over 250 yards in the first half of total offense.
TJ Harden, the UCLA transfer, puts SMU up 17-7, and then the other quarterback, Jennings, to Jalen Cooper. He was dealing as well. On the run, 75 yards.
A big play waiting to happen right there. I love the throw. Just the flick of the wrist by Kevin Jennings there to Cooper. He takes it home the rest of the way.
He looks in complete control of this offense, but again, this was back and forth. Here comes Bryson Washington.
Yeah, and Robertson was over 440 yards passing, and the game's still going on.
tied at 24. Harden puts the Ponies up 31-24.
Sometimes, guys, you catch them in the blitz and you're able to gash them with the run right there. Easy run and touchdown for Harden.
There are helmet stickers coming out of this game everywhere. Harden again. SMU up 38-24.
And at this point, it felt like it was SMU's game. They had all the momentum. They go up 2 scores. It's got to be over.
Here comes Sawyer. 48 yards to Josh Cameron. What a grab and effort.
You know what? I got a ton of respect for Sawyer Robertson. He's played well throughout this entire game. Not a pretty first half, but still giving this team a chance to win.
This the game of the day. So Robertson in the defense holds. He gets it to Kobe Prentice, tied at 38.
What a throw, splitting 3 defenders on the back end with a seam down the middle to tie it.
All right, so we're in overtime. Bryson Washington takes it up the gut. 45-38 Baylor. But the very next play, it's Jennings to Romello Brinson. They tie it up.
Off the back foot, too. It's a dime.
Unbelievable. This one is 45 all in Dallas. They're going to need a cigarette after this one goes. Day, maybe he was conservative in the play calling. But Julian's saying he could use a little come up this week against Grambling.
Absolutely right.
3:58, we're getting set for tennis. The afternoon window, this 3:30 window. EJ, what are you going to be looking at in this expansive game?
Yeah, the game that's going on right now, Kansas and Missouri. I think that's the biggest one right now. I mean, that's going to be, look, it's a rivalry game. That's the exciting part of it. And we'll see what happens.
I thought we was talking tennis.
Well, you can give your tennis prediction in a minute. What do you got, Joey?
I got Asimova. Is that her name?
No, it's not.
What's the American's name? Give me her.
Asimova, which one do you want? Sabalenka or Asimova?
Sabalenka.
I want the American.
All right. SMU, by the way, this is happening as we speak. SMU just missed a field goal in overtime, so Baylor's going to get the ball with a chance to win it, still tied at 45 apiece. But look, it's always, we say this every year, on a day in a window where there aren't the marquee matchups is when you end up getting the best games. We had Syracuse, UConn. We've got an overtime game. We've got Joey butchering tennis names. But we do have the Women's U.S. Open final at 4 p.m. coming up next. Enjoy. We'll see you guys tonight for more college football.
Finds himself getting twitchy. It's off of the pre-workout, the NO Explode, still living in 2006.
Yeah, that's just too much caffeine. He's got to calm down a little bit. He needs to get off some of that.
One more question for you, Tim. A lot of quarterbacks taking over programs had a solid week 1. Which great start should we be paying closer attention to?
Well, I think the first one I would mention is Carson Beck, just because so many people wanted to jump on the bandwagon of criticizing him. Like, he reminds me a lot more of what he did in 2023 when he was one of the best players in the country. And I also didn't think he had the worst season last year. There were a lot of things that didn't go right for Georgia. And for him to come out against one of the best defenses in the country in Notre Dame and go, I think, 20 for 31 for 205, 2 touchdowns. I think both of them were against pressure. Like, that, what a great answer for this young man. Under a lot of criticism, for him to step back up and show what he can do and how good of a player he is. I'm happy for the young man, and people need to understand that.
Certainly answered that week 1 call. Notre Dame came to visit. He picked up and led the Canes to that week 1 win.